Hey friends, good morning. It is June. It is a beautiful but freaking chilly day here on the farm. It is 8 a.m. and it's just barely over freezing. It's around 35 degrees Fahrenheit. This is a big change from the last couple summers that I've spent out here on the frontier. Usually it's very hot during the day, so I don't know. This year has been strange on so many ways. Just taking a look at my chickens over here. Just finished loading up a bunch of eggs. They've been really productive for me, but they're running very low on food. They're almost out, actually. So it's a good thing the barley is ready to harvest this month. I need to get into that later on and get going with that harvest. But for now, I'm going to drive these eggs into town, take them over to Jenny at the market, and give you an update while we drive. So, you probably remember last month there was that big explosion and ball of flame shooting into the sky from the direction of Javon's factory. It was actually Javon's factory. Fortunately, Javon is okay. He was not there at the time. He was in town and just in the walls over at the farmer's market taking some goods in to Jenny. I think I said when I recorded the last episode we had just been taking a lot of the goods out of the factory and bringing them into our little storage shed that we put up next to the farmer's market because Javon was storing way too much stuff there and I didn't realize it and we were taking up a lot of space in the factory. So he was just bringing over some more flour and some bread that he had been baking and he wasn't there and it just went up like a ball of flame. It's wild. It's completely gone. There's rubble. I've been over here with my wheel loader sometimes helping clean up. We sort of scooped a lot of stuff together into piles at this point, and I've been taking loads in my dump truck. We're probably going to need something bigger to get a lot of what's left, although there's still some rubble. I'm going to stop here and give you a glimpse of what went down here. It's just debris left. It was a massive explosion. Kind of surprised none of the trees over there took any damage. There's a few parts left that were, I don't know, fire strange. Some of the stuff that was in the brick and stonework itself got damaged, but some of the wood didn't get as damaged, but then some of the other parts just went up like tinder. It's wild. I'm glad it didn't jump over to the houses over there. Javon and my foreman, their houses are not bothered. I don't know what Javon is going to do about the factory. I don't know if he's planning to rebuild. I actually don't have anything to use the factory right now. I'm harvesting this barley from my field soon, but I need that for the chickens. I probably have a little bit more than I need, but I wouldn't have needed much flour production. And I still have so much flour that I haven't done anything with. Of course, Javon wasn't just trying to help me out with that factory. He was also making that his livelihood after being forced out of the city, which I can say now since I'm not trying to stay on good relationship with Frontier Security as much anymore. So yeah, I don't know what he's going to do now that the factory has been destroyed. I guess he's waiting on the insurance stuff to come through, and paperwork to file and, you know, all that good stuff. It is a lot to do. So yeah, I'm gonna get this stuff loaded off to the farmer's market so Jenny can get selling these eggs. And I guess we're not going to use them for bread since we don't have Javon's factory anymore. So yeah, I guess that's just going to be for selling for the moment. The permits have actually come through on the housing unit that I want to put over on this side of the property for my new workers. So in the next month or two, I should actually be able to break ground and start putting up this building over here. I've got an architect I'm working with, and he's got some good ideas about how to use that space. So I'm excited to have that coming in, which is good because we are starting to get summer goes into fall really fast, and then we're going to be very busy when it comes harvest time with all of those fields to harvest in October. So if I can get some housing up in July, August, maybe even as late as September, I don't know how long it's going to take to actually construct the property, and then I should be able to start recruiting workers. It's going to be a tight time lane. I'm not sure I'm going to have enough people working for me for harvest in October. We'll have to see. There's other stuff going on. There's always other stuff going on, but I'll tell you that later. For now, let me get this unloaded, and then we'll jump into a time lapse over in the field, and you can see me get the harvest done. See you in a little bit. Well, I know I said I was going to jump right into a time lapse and start harvesting, but change of plans. I'm over here at the shop, and I'm picking up a baler because the barley is going to produce a bunch of straw, and I don't have the capacity for all that straw in my hayloft. So I might try to pick up like half of it loose to put in my hayloft and bale the rest. I'm not entirely sure. I made almost 60,000 on the eggs, which was nice. And I've rented this baler. I did think about buying it because I do have more money now, but I just don't anticipate using it often enough to pay full price for this right now. Maybe in a year or two if I had more cereal crops that are going to produce straw, but this year I don't think so. So let's hop in here, and I'll give you some more updates as we drive. I have some mixed news to report on the Leo front. He is no longer a guest of Frontier Security. They have let him go home. He is, at least temporarily, not working for them. I don't know what the long-term plan is. But also, he doesn't want to see me. I've been by there a couple of times. Nelson has been back to spend time with him. Nelson and Lisa are trying to figure out what footing they're on. And, yeah, Leo doesn't want to see me. He very explicitly said, I don't want to see you here. You don't come around here. He doesn't care if his dad keeps working for me, or at least that's what he said. Although who knows how he will feel after hearing about it from his mom. But yeah, we're not seeing each other anymore. I have no idea if this is temporary. I'm feeling really upset and hurt by the whole thing. I know he went through a lot. I can't imagine what he went through. I don't know where he's been, and I still have no information about that. I hate driving by that just empty factory, destroyed thing. I don't know anything about what happened to him, and I don't know if he blames me before going through whatever he went through because he was out at my farm when he disappeared. So maybe if he hadn't been out there that day, whatever happened to him never would have happened to him. It's obviously a very complicated situation, but everything was going so well between us before that happened. And here I have been thinking for months and months that I just want him back, and we would things would be kind of the same. Like, obviously he would have trauma that he might be dealing with, having been kidnapped, presumably, and held against his will somewhere. But I didn't expect that to be the end of our relationship. I totally forgot to mention this when I was going by with the truck earlier, but some of these trees are now not saplings anymore. The ones that are closer to the tracks are still small, tiny, which I would expect. It's only been, I don't know, a few months since I put these trees in, but the ones that are closer to the road, look at that. They're beautiful. They're going to be lots of good shade, and that's going to help with the soil erosion. I'm very excited about that. So yeah, I don't know what to think of this whole Leo thing. And honestly, not gonna lie, part of me is wondering if he was coerced. Like, obviously it's not good for Frontier security if they think he's potentially going to spill protected secrets to me, which he has not done, but maybe they're worried that would change after whatever happened to him. I mean, I can't imagine if, the thing I'm thinking is what actually happened. If he actually was kidnapped by aliens and held for months out there in Old Town, how do you not talk about that with somebody? Like, maybe Frontier Security is just worried he's going to spill the beans on something he shouldn't be. There was that time when Kendra just showed up out of the blue at my party, and she didn't leave until Leo had left. I don't know. I'm just probably completely blowing things out of proportion now. But I don't know, I'm stuck. I don't know what to think. It's just all out of the sudden. Out of the blue? Sudden? Alright, well, let me get this untangled. You'll see me next in the time lapse with the harvester, I'm sure. I'll see you in a minute. Well, this is an eventful day. I just got into the harvester, haven't even pulled out of my garage, and there was a note waiting in here for me. I can hardly believe those absolute nut jobs had the cojones to leave this note in my harvester, in any of my vehicles, just coming onto my property and putting this here. It sounds harmless enough. Sorry to hear about your friend's factory. It's a good thing he wasn't there at the time. Glad nobody got hurt. If you read that in the right way, that is absolutely a threat. I didn't mention this as I was driving. I was sort of preoccupied by the Leo thing. The factory, Javon's factory, is right next to the Frontier security gates. Anything that happened to that factory should have been caught on camera. If that thing was intentionally sabotaged, there should be video footage of it. There's an investigation ongoing. I don't know what the insurance company has found out yet, but I have talked to people I know at Frontier Security, and as far as we know, there's no footage of anything untoward happening there. I don't know if that means it got erased, or somebody got paid off to disappear it. I don't know what. I'm like thinking the worst of everything Frontier Security related now. This is what happens when they just don't be honest with people. I can't trust them. So I have no proof that those guys who've been coming around saying I need to give the money that I found in that field over there to their employer, whoever that is. I have no proof that those guys were involved in what happened to Javon's factory, but who else would it be? As far as I know, I'm not on anybody else's shit list right now. Dan has been in jail this whole time. It had to be those guys. They've been getting more aggressive and pushy. They've come out a few more times. I haven't seen them since whatever happened to John's factory. But now this note. I mean, this is clear, right? They're threatening. If I don't give the money to their employer, next time Javon won't be out of harm's way? Are they going to target Javon or my foreman or Jenny or Justin or any of the people at the pizzeria? Like, what's the next step for them? I don't even know what to do about this. Well, that's something fun to keep me occupied while I'm harvesting. Right. Let's, Oh, I still love the way this thing sounds. That engine is just... This is a really awesome piece of equipment. And it's speedy like whoa. I guess it's nice that even when I'm stressed out about stuff like those jerks, I can still enjoy what I'm doing. Alright, well, I'll get the drone up and see you in the field. Okay. I have fed my chickens, and even after feeding them, I've got over 60,000 liters of barley left, so I should be good on chicken feed for a while. I've got my loading wagon attached here to the tractor, and I checked the hayloft. It looks like I probably can get around maybe 2 loading wagon full of straw into the hayloft, and then I need to switch to baling it. And I can store the bales in my shed for now until it's a better time of year to sell them. I don't want to necessarily keep solid bales. I can use loose straw very easily in my animal enclosures. The animals are doing really well, by the way. The baby cows are a couple months old now, and they're coming along nicely. And our beef cows are just about old enough in another month or two that we can start reproducing them. So, looking forward to that. Hopefully Nelson will stick with me that long. I don't know if he's planning to go back to Ravenwood, if he's going to patch things up with Lisa now that Leo is back. I don't know. He's been kind of... He's trying to be sensitive to me by not bringing up Leo, given that Leo doesn't seem to want anything to do with me anymore. But Leo is a big point in common, obviously. I was dating his son. We were in a serious relationship. So it's kind of weird right now. But it's whatever. Okay. I guess it's gonna go pretty fast. So maybe I will just hop into another time lapse to wrap this up. And then I was thinking about maybe I want to try to get this field turned around soon so that I can get some canola into this field this fall. This is a pretty big field, and I don't know that I want to grow another cereal crop in it. But if I can get it going for the fall with some canola, I can forget about it for a while I'm harvesting all those crops across the street. Might be the best thing to do. We'll see. I will maybe do it myself, or maybe get my foreman on it and do it off camera. We'll find out. Alright, well, I'll get this into my hayloft and then come in and do the rest in a time lapse. See you in a minute. Okay, well, that is another harvest done. Got all the barley and straw off this field, except for a few little spots I missed. And I picked up the bales. I ended up with close to 100,000 liters of straw that I was able to take loose over to my hayloft over there, which I can use for bedding for my animals and also in the feed mix for my cows. And then I had 21 bales of straw with the baler that I'll be able to sell over the winter to the animal dealer, or maybe some farmers in town. Maybe, we'll see. So, yeah, I think this was a really good harvest. And I think I'm going to plant this in canola in a month or two when it's time to do the canola planting. I have remembered that my new seeder, which I haven't used yet, the one that I bought that's in town that Jenny has, or not Jenny, Rachel. I was just thinking about the two of them going out somewhere together. Long story there. I'll tell you more another time. Rachel has been working on that seeder for me, and she has it all fixed up. It's ready for me to use. That seeder is a direct seeder, so I don't have to cultivate this field. But I got my soil sampling kit out because it's been a few years since I put lime on this field, and I've grown a bunch of different crops in here. So I thought it might be time for lime so I can rebalance the pH in this field, and it is. So I do need to spread lime on this before I get the next crop in, ideally. I'm going to wait until I harvest this canola field. I can't remember if I started these two fields the same year, or if this canola field is a year later, so I won't need to lime it until next year. Or who knows, I don't even remember what crops I've grown in there, and if it's going to deplete the pH the same rate as the other one. So yeah, I'll check on that after I harvest it next month. It's coming along quite nicely. I think it's just about ready to go. So we may spread lime on both these fields next month and get them ready to plant for August, or maybe just that one. I'll find out.